My status as an assassin obviously exceeds the hero. Episode 4. The assassin calls the name. What name? Whose name? Why are we calling her name? Let's talk about it. Well, back, Geek Variant. So we are talking about the assassin calls the name is the name of episode 4, and the name that he's calling, well, we'll get to that in a minute. All right, so we actually start off with a kind of a flashback. Amelia is on a walk. Kalika is being chased. She's in training and she's fighting with people. And we see that they're kind of doing their thing till it eventually comes up where, of course, they're protective of them because they're royalty. We see a scene where Liam ends up breaking off his engagement with Amelia. And this is heartbreaking because we find out the reason the engagement has been broken off is because she is the child of blight. It was whatever it is that she's become that is a problem. And she needs to answer for her crimes because apparently she tried to pass off a poison as a healing potion when Kalika had an injured arm. So that's the whole big thing. That's the whole reason why she was being chased off the cliff and all that stuff that we saw in previous. Now, back to present day, we see that Kalika is trying to, still get Amelia gone. Amelia's trying like, I'll leave immediately. Like, I didn't want to come here in the first place. I'm ready to go. Like, we will be gone. But Kalika's not having it. She's like, you're here. You're going to get taken out. I'm going to deal with you. And during that process, we actually see that she's questions Akira, like, who are you? You know what? I want to utilize you and we're gonna, take out her. So she attempts to mesmerize Akira, which is her skill. And she is unable to do so because he is a higher level. His status as an assassin obviously exceeds her ability to mesmerize him. So while it looks for a second like he's in the trance, he's actually like, no, I'm not affected. And we see Amelia actually stand up to Kalika finally when it comes to Akira. So okay, she got some gusto now because she was running away before, and all of a sudden she's ready to go. But when he went to go mess with her man, she was like, "Yeah, nah, not happening." So she ends up ordering everyone to, hey, basically take them out. I need them taken out now. But the king shows up. The king's name, who I don't think was really revealed, stuff. His name is Olive, and he ends up showing up and shutting all that stuff down. It's like no, and orders her to end her mesmerized skill, and basically she's trying to get everybody kind of under, I guess, some kind of control with her mesmerize. It enchants and gets, I guess, you to be on her side or do whatever it is she wants. Not sure of the full extent of mesmerize, but it is a dangerous skill to have. So we find out that Olive is like, all right, you need to go. Like it says Akira can go, but Amelia's going to stay because humans aren't permitted in the Elven Kingdom. And Kira's like, yeah, nah, I'm not leaving. I'm not having that. And Olive was like, excuse me, like we're gonna have an issue. And basically they decided they're gonna fight for control of Amelia and what's gonna happen with her. And Akira's fighting basically, so she has her free will. She can choose to do what she wants to do and go where she wants to go. Olive wants her basically pretty much back home because he's been gone. He's been gone away for a while. And apparently, when all this stuff went down, Olive was gone the entire time. So he just got back, and that's why he's telling her to end his mesmerized. Because apparently, since she was chased away, that's the whole thing. She chased away, she ran off a cliff, she got trapped by a slime, she ended up in the dungeon. That's how everything got to where it is. So it's like, all right, you two will fight. Kalika will fight in my stead, and because she's an accomplished wind mage, and she will fight you, and that's it. So her and Akira go at it, and Akira is mollywopping this girl, like without even pulling his sword from his sheath the entire time. He ends up working her over, and we find out more about the twin blight legend that one of the twins gets that blight because of this story or whatever is passed along. Turns out, oh, that's a bunch of crap. So that she's got different color eyes and hair, and that's one of the reasons why. Like, oh yeah, you're different, so you got to be that because you don't match the father or whatever the case may be. But we actually find out as things go on that she's different for a different reason. While they're sitting there trying to set that up, we see Liam in present day actually throw up a branch, which is a branch of the holy tree. And while this whole fight is going on, Amelia uses that to cleanse everyone of the mesmerized skill. So apparently, Everyone was mesmerized. Every soldier was mesmerized, including Liam. So, and Liam, again, that's the one who broke off the engagement. We find out that no, he wasn't mesmerized. He never was mesmerized. The skill didn't never affected him. He was always himself, but he never let on that he was never mesmerized. So now that the branch of the holy tree cleared everybody, and we see Akira use his shadow magic to defeat Kalika, and actually ends up pulling it back to keep it from consuming her, and ends up covering himself in the shadow before he finally dissipates it. We see that since Liam was never under the mesmerized, and the king is taking responsibility for everything, everyone is free. We find out that Amelia was actually a spirit medium, and that is why she is different from everyone else. She's actually a messenger of the gods. And because of that, that's why Kalika was so salty during all of this, because she seemed like she was forgotten about. Everyone's all over Amelia and of how Amelia was this, Amelia was that, and what's going to happen with her. No one cared about Kalika no more. She was the forgotten sister. So now it makes sense. Now understands. So now everyone, that's why she had everybody mesmerized. So they would be, she would feel more, important. She would feel more welcome, whatever the case may be. Well, after all this stuff, we find out that the king takes responsibility for all this that happened because he has a skill of forgetting. He dismissed it from her because apparently he made her forget certain things that happened. And we find out the things that she forgot happened were young Kalika, she was young, she was bound to train and get stronger. And we saw that uh, this guy, freaking Arum, gives her an orb for summoning monsters so she can train because she can't go train anywhere else. And she's only allowed to go up to the third floor, I guess, of the training. So she's kind of messed up and she ends up summoning these monsters to fight, but they end up being big ogres, trolls, stuff that she can't handle. So we see that Liam comes to defend her and do his best, but he gets injured in the process. And during the process of him getting injured, he gets taken out. And she's like messed up because he's been, killed because of her. So she's upset. We find out that Amelia, who has learned certain spells, she learned gravity and she learned the resurrection skill. So while she was actually resurrecting Liam, who had died, and she resurrected him, a leaf from the holy tree fell into him, his wound, while he was being resurrected, which actually granted him immunity from the mesmerized skill. So that's how he got his immunity. So I was like, all right, that's pretty dope. Let's see how it goes. And everyone pretty much makes up at that point. Freaking so sisters forgive each other. She's upset. The reason he made her forget is because she was so distraught at the death of Liam and he didn't want her to suffer, made her forget that it ever happened. And in the process of forgetting it ever happened, she forgot so much other stuff and how close they used to be. Kalika and Amelia, all that kind of stuff. We actually come to find out that Liam has always cared for Kalika, and it looks like he wanted to be in a relationship with Kalika. Like, so all this is now coming to fruition. Everybody's got this understanding, and with Olive finally taking responsibility, I guess, for kind of sending things in the direction that they sent, it's wrapped up with a nice, neat little bow here. And Akira says that Amelia is who she is. That's the name. He says her name, and she's like, "I want you to say my name." She makes him say the name instead of girl or whatever the case may be. She's like, "No, say my name." And he's like, "Amelia," and she's like, "Yes, say it again." She's getting high off that stuff. She's like, "Yeah, that's what I want to hear." Now I'm feeling myself. I'm more confident. I'm me. I'm Amelia. Cool. I'm with it. So now the hero party can move on to the Beast Folk continent, is where they need to travel to next to go figure out the next steps. So I like it how we got her backstory and everything was wrapped up in a neat little. It wasn't over explained. I might have over explained a little bit. It wasn't super over explained. Like everything kind of made sense, and we could see that it was a miscommunication, more or less, on the part of the king, where he can because making the forget happen, and then Kalika being the situation in. So I was like, all right, cool, get that, completely understand. You can explain that in one episode, but there now the Elven Kingdom has no other purpose. Now it's time to move on to the Beast Folk area. So I was like, well, I expected a little bit more from here, but I guess we're not going to get more here, and we're just going to go ahead and move on. So that's the end of that episode. Nothing else really transpires after that. Freaking so, make sure you hit that love the rest subscribe button. I'm gonna get into episode 5 here next, and talk about everything from there. And I'm gonna try and keep these up weekly. Again, this is a new one that I watched, and I've been enjoying it so far. So Akira Oda is definitely one of my new favorite characters. So I'll catch you guys in the next one.